All right, let's get right into it. We're all looking for more website traffic, right? But just staring at a long list of tips, it can feel a little scattered, a little overwhelming. So today, we're going to do something different. We're going to turn that list into a story. We're going to follow the journey of a single visitor from the second they land on your site to the moment they decide, yeah, I'm sticking around. It's just a way more powerful and, frankly, more effective way to think about growth. So let's kick things off with a really important question. I want you to think about this for your own site. When someone totally new shows up, what story does your website tell them in the first 3 seconds? Seriously, because most of the time, that's all you get. That's your entire window to convince them to stay. And that brings us to part 1 of this journey, the first impression. This is all about grabbing that visit before it vanishes into a sea of other open browser tabs. You know how it is. These first few moments, they are absolutely everything. Think of your homepage this way. It's not just a pretty welcome mat. It's your digital front door. It has one job, and it has to do it instantly. It needs to scream, here's who we are, here's what we do for you, and here's what you should do next. If that clarity isn't there in a split second, poof, they're gone. And when I say instantly, I mean it. You've got about 3 seconds. 1, 2, 3. That's it. If your site takes any longer than that to load, visitors will bounce. And that's just a fancy term for clicking the back button before they even see a single word you've written. And that 1 little second of delay, it costs you real money. Just a 1-second delay can tank your conversions by over 20%. But the good news is the fix can be super simple. You can start just by compressing your images or cleaning out old plugins you aren't using anymore. Speed isn't just a nice to have, it's the foundation of everything. And let's be real about where your visitors are coming from. Look at these numbers. Over 70% of web traffic is happening on phones. So if your website is a pain to use on mobile, tiny text, buttons that are impossible to tap, you're literally slamming the door on the vast majority of your audience. Okay, so you did it. You nailed the first impression, they loaded your site fast, and they've decided to stick around for a minute. Now what? Well, now we move on to part 2, the guided tour. This is where we turn a casual passerby into someone who's actually leaning in, reading, and getting engaged. So how do we guide them? With a blog. But I want you to stop thinking of a blog as just, writing articles. Think of it as your silent 24/7 salesperson. Every single post you write is like planting a seed of content. It creates a new doorway for people to find you through search, and those seeds can grow and bring in traffic for years to come. I absolutely love this way of thinking about it. If your website is a city, and your blog posts are all the cool destinations, then your internal links are the roads connecting everything. By linking between your posts, you encourage visitors to keep and signals to search engines that you're a valuable resource, and that helps you rank higher. It's a win-win. Now, one of the most important and most overlooked destinations in your entire city is your About page. So many people treat this as just a boring bio. It's so much more than that. Your About page is a bridge. It's where a person goes from knowing what you do to understanding why you do it. It's where they decide if they trust you and if they want to be part of your world. So, how do we build a strong bridge? Well, a great About page isn't shy. It clearly states your mission. It's specific about who you're there to help. It uses real photos and personal stories to build that human connection. And, this is critical, it gives them a next step, a clear call to action to invite them even deeper. Okay, so your visitor is totally hooked. They've taken the tour, they're starting to trust you, they feel a connection. This brings us to the climax of the journey. Part 3, the moment of action. This is where we turn all that interest and goodwill into a real decision. And the simplest way to do that is with your call to action buttons, your CTAs. But vague, lazy words like submit or sign up just don't cut it anymore. You have to be benefit driven. Instead of submit, tell them what they're getting. Get my free course. Instead of download, create some intrigue. Unlock the traffic guide. It's a tiny shift in words, but it makes a world of difference. But how do you get them to even trust that button? Well, you use social proof. A testimonial like this is pure gold. It doesn't just promise something, it shows a real result. It builds instant credibility because it's not you saying you're great, it's someone else, a happy client, saying it for you. And the impact here is massive and measurable. Just one strong testimonial can boost your conversions by 30% or even more. That's the power of letting other people do your selling. Proof builds trust, and trust is what drives action. So, what about those visitors who are about to leave? Their mouse is heading for the back button. Do you just let them go? No way. This is where an exit intent pop-up comes in. Think of it as your final, friendly handshake. It's a last chance offer, a free guide, a checklist that can snag an extra 5 to 10% of leads you would have otherwise lost forever. It's a total game changer. So we've walked through the whole visitor experience. Now it's time for part 4, the strategy behind the scenes. This is the stuff you do when no one's watching. It's the ongoing improvement loop that creates sustainable long-term growth. A huge piece of this is just looking at your analytics and seeing what's actually working. You'll almost always find the 80-20 rule is in full effect. What that means is 1 or 2 of your posts are probably bringing in 80% of your traffic. Analytics helps you find those winners so you can double down, update them, and promote them even more. And really, that's what it's all about. Using data removes the guesswork. It gives you a clear roadmap based on what your audience has already told you they want. The moment you stop guessing and start measuring is the moment you start growing in a really strategic way. And finally, one last little behind-the-scenes tweak that so many people miss: image SEO. Every single image on your site is another chance for someone to find you. Just follow these 3 simple steps. 1, rename the file with keywords before you upload. 2, add descriptive alt text. And 3, compress that image to keep your site lightning fast, which, as we know, is where this whole journey begins. And that brings us full circle. After all of this, it really comes down to one simple question. Is your website a destination, a place that makes people want to stay, explore, and take action? Or is it just a digital pass-through, something they forget about in 3 seconds flat? When you start focusing on the visitor's journey, you can build a site that truly becomes a destination worth visiting.